Hello and welcome to No Sevens Dice Club, College Football Editions, Week 13, 2025. It's the second to last week of college football for 2025, and then it's over, and then we get into conference championships and playoffs and coaching changes and everything else, and one more week, and then No Sevens is done with college football, and then we bring out the craps videos for the season. So last week we went 4-2. We're at 26, 22, and 3. I'm telling you, this has been a hard year. And as you can see, in the previous times, like I always show you guys in the 40s, and then even in 2024, 37 and 26. I thought that was a hard year with the whole, NIL experience. Won all 3 months. Won all 3 months again. That's what it's looking like. I just got to win this week, and I'll have all 3 months won again. So let's go ahead and get into the Week 12 notes. No tie, so no tie in the month. So that's great. I mean, I don't even know how I was pulling some of those circus acts. Just the ties. I mean, and the tie and the 2 games I lost last week. Each game was less than 3 points. That's how close I was to going undefeated last week, just to keep that in mind. The Bama game, I lost that one. I picked Alabama. That was a game I lost by 2 points. So it just really just goes to show you, just how close things are. James Franklin, he goes to Virginia Tech. Really good hire for Virginia Tech. Some of the Virginia Tech fans are like, national championships every year. Slow your roll down a little bit. James Franklin, he's going to do really well for you. He's going to put you very competitive with the ACC. Really looking forward to it. National championship every year, maybe not. But really looking forward to it. Guarantee you 9-10 win seasons every single year. Yeah, I can pretty much bank on that one. I'll put money on that. Winning a national championship every year, no, because he would have done that in Penn State. So let's go ahead and get into our picks. Week 13. Okay, Oklahoma versus Missouri. So Oklahoma is going to be at home. They're playing Mizzou. Oklahoma is coming off a monster win against Bama. They move up in the rankings. I don't understand how you have Oklahoma, Notre Dame, and then Bama. I don't know what the committee is thinking in the rankings right now. But anyway, Oklahoma is at home. They're playing against Mizzou. Oklahoma needs to keep on winning. Missouri is plus 5.5 in this game. I kind of see Missouri as like a middle of the road team. This could be a hangover game. This could be almost a trap game. I was thinking about that when I was making this pick. But I really do think that Oklahoma is going to come in here, be laser focused. They know they cannot lose another game. They know they got to win. They know that they got to play really good football, especially eye candy football for the committee. And it seems like this year the committee is really honed in on eye candy for whatever reason. Hence the reason why I mentioned Notre Dame. There's no reason why Notre Dame is where it is in the rankings. But so Oklahoma is, I think, going to win this game. I think it's going to be a lot closer than plus 5.5. I don't know if I want to take Mizzou plus 5.5. I kind of like Mizzou at plus 7. So that's what I think I'm going to lean to. I think Oklahoma's going to win. I think Oklahoma's going to win by 3. Last week I didn't. I took Bama and Oklahoma won. So I think I'm going to go with the same thing. Except for I'm going to buy up the points. I'm going to take Mizzou. And I'm going to go Mizzou plus 7. So I'm going to buy it up from plus 5.5. And we're going to lock it in. Okay, it's officially on the board. It is locked in, guys. All right, next up is Ohio State. They're playing at home versus Rutgers. I was writing these backwards when I wrote these first two. I guess I was excited about my picks. The over-under is 54.5. I really, really like Ohio State's offense. They're just rolling, and if you notice when they play a lesser team like Rutgers and everything else, they tend to rack up the points more. Rutgers is going to get about 7 to 10 points in this game. Ohio State's going to win by at least 40 points. So I really, really like this game to go on the over side at 54.5. But to secure that, I'm going to actually buy down those points. I'm going to take the over at 50 points. Really not a lot to dissect here. I think both teams are going to score. Ohio State's definitely going to score a lot. If I'm not mistaken, Ohio State at one point in time had a 70-point game this season, if I'm not mistaken. But to be on the safe side, we're going to go ahead and take the over at 50 points. So let's lock it in. Okay. It's locked in. And if you can't buy it down, 54 is a pretty good pick. So I like 54 also. I just like to be in the right place. So if you're on a sporting app or if you can't buy it down and you're at 54, I'll still take the pick at 54, 54.5. Next up is where game day is going to be at USC at Oregon. Now, guys, I had a bunch of y'all comment to me and say, no, Sevens, why don't you do any of the West Coast games? I was like, oh, you mean the old Pac games? Because the Pac is really kind of broken up now. There's really not any more Pac. This is an old Pac game. Was it? Oregon was Pac North, and I think USC was Pac South, if I'm not mistaken. In fact, they really didn't play each other. And last time, I think, was back in 2011 was the last time these two teams met in the normal season in the Pac game, if I remember. It's been a while since they played each other. And I think Oregon has beat them every single time since 2011 or something like that. I can't remember the exact record. But it's been a while since these two teams have met up. Let's just say that, okay? We'll leave it at that. It's at 2:30 p.m. Like I said, game day is going to be there. They're playing at Oregon again. Dan Lanning said that he is not looking for another coaching job. He loves Oregon, and he wants to keep on winning at Oregon, which is awesome. I'm glad that he's so decisive. The over-under is at 59.5, and I can definitely see an over in this game easily at 60 points. I don't even need to buy down the points because I really like the over on this. You got Lincoln Riley, the head coach at USC, who is just absolutely winning. He needs to win this game to get into the playoffs. And then you got Dan Lanning on the other side, who needs to win this game also to get into the playoffs also. Whoever loses has a much tougher road to travel to get into the playoffs. And considering that there's only one more game next week, this is kind of like the deciding factor of who's going and who's staying at home and watching the other team play in the playoffs. So I expect an offensive shootout in this game, pretty much no defense. And I really, I'm not even going to buy it down. I was thinking about buying it down to 55, but you know what? I kind of like 59.5. So let's go ahead and lock in the over at 59.5. And you guys are asking, no Sevens, who do you like in this game? I like Oregon to win it by around 3 points, maybe a little bit less. That's if I had to go pick one, that would be where I would lean. But that's the reason why we're going to take the over, and we're going to just want everybody to score a touchdown. So let's do that. All right. I kind of like overs, and it's always fun when you're at a bar and you're screaming, you're for the touchdown, and then they get the touchdown, and then the next team scores a touchdown, you're screaming even louder. And people are like, who are you going for? What team? I'm like, I'm going for the over. I'm going for both. Or like they say in the commercials, going for Dos Equis. All right, next up is Kentucky at Vandy. Vandy is minus 8.5 in this game. It's a 2:30 p.m. game. This game, they always want to make it like into the rival, Kentucky, Tennessee. Now that game is a rival. Kentucky and Vandy, I guess it's like a little brother rival, the two states and stuff like that. There's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? I can't remember right now. I was going to say something. But anyway, Kentucky's going in there. Kentucky usually plays a very close game against Vandy. Vandy is on the outside looking in on the college football playoffs. They had everything going for them, and then they kind of just fell off to the wayside. So they need to keep on winning, but the interesting part is that Vandy is favored heavily in this game, minus 8.5. Now, if you know, Kentucky has a really good defense, and they can keep themselves in this game, pretty well. And considering we're already at 8.5, what's to say to buy, some more points in this game? And let's take Kentucky plus 10. I kind of like those odds. What do you guys think? I think with Kentucky's defense and its limited offense, kind of like LSU, where it had no offense, it was still competitive in that game when LSU played Vandy. And that's what I'm kind of gauging this off of. So if you were going to give me Kentucky plus 10, I kind of like those odds. So that's what I'm going to take. I'm going to take Kentucky plus 10. You guys can fade this game. I'm kind of just doing this for a pick on the board. But it's whatever you guys like. Like I said, you guys can completely fade this game and move on to the next. So let's go ahead and take Kentucky plus 10. Okay, there it is. Kentucky plus 10. All right, next up is West Kentucky. Woohoo! Hey, look at this. At LSU, the over-under is at 50.5. It's a 6:45 p.m. game. Last week, LSU should have lost that game in drastic fashion. I don't know. Arkansas really beat themselves in that game. That game should have been 45-23. There's no way in the world LSU should have won that game. They were outcoached. They were outplayed on LSU's offense was horrible. The only thing that kept them in was LSU's defense. LSU's defense has won them that game and a couple other games, which is really sad that great defense is not going to be there next year. In fact, we'll have a new coach too and new players and everything else. But as I digress, we're not here to talk about LSU's horrible, lackluster season. But we do have Western Kentucky that's going in. They are playing LSU. LSU is probably going to score. They haven't been able to get really over the 25-point hump, except for one game, and that was against Southeastern, which is a know-nothing university. Every other game, it's been at least 15 to 20 points. I don't expect anything different against Western Kentucky, and this game could be a lot more competitive than what people are saying. This is not a circle-in win for LSU. This game, Western Kentucky can come in here and start scoring a lot of points, and LSU could be in some serious trouble. And the way this season's going, I don't put anything past it that Western Kentucky can win this game. But what I do see is an over in this game. At 50.5 points, I really don't see it. I can kind of see it. I think it'd be really close. But I really like, if I can buy it down, I'm going to take the over at 45. Kind of like what I did last week. I took the under at 60 because I felt like that game was going to be a good defensive game. And I would have lost that game if Arkansas didn't beat themselves, because they had 3 touchdowns that they failed to convert. And 2 of them were on the 1-yard line that they just couldn't get over. But I do like the over in this game. And I really feel comfortable at 45. So if you guys can buy it down, I would buy it down to 45. You guys can also fade this game if you don't like it. Either way, I'm putting it on the board. I like the over at 45, and it's being played at 6:45, so it kind of rhymes, so let's go with it. All right, there we go, the over at 45. Okay, next up, another Pac-12 game, Washington at UCLA. It is plus 10.5. I know my 10 looks really weird. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what. I tried to write it 3 times, and I just finally gave up on the 3rd time. UCLA has been hot and cold. I don't know if you guys have been following them. They're looking for a head coach also. There's chances that they're saying that Brian Kelly from LSU is going to go to UCLA or Michigan State. Don't know. Don't care. This game is at 9:30 p.m. So this is the late night game. This is what we used to call Pack After Dark, and I really, really miss those games, and every once in a while I can catch a good old Pack game like this. So I'm going to be watching this game at night. Washington has been playing really well, just kind of like UCLA. It's up and down. You don't know where it's going to go, but they can keep this game competitive. There is no over and under in this game. But what I do like is I do like UCLA in this game. Plus 10.5 is pretty good, but I want something concrete. I want to see if I can buy up the points, and I like to see if I can take it at I wouldn't say 14 because then you're really not going to make that much money. But let's just say that we can't buy it up and go to plus 13, and see if we can't try it from there because I feel pretty comfortable with plus 13. UCLA, they're playing at UCLA. I think this is UCLA's last game at home. So a lot of the seniors and juniors that are going to get ready to go graduate or going on to the draft are going to play really hard for this game. So this game could be a really, really good game, surprisingly, for UCLA. Because they have really nothing left to play for. So this is going to be their moment. So I like UCLA. We're going to buy it up to plus 13. And if you can't buy it up, I still like plus 10.5. But let's go ahead and lock it in at plus 13. Okay, there it is. It's all locked in. So real quick, if you guys just want to fast forward the video at the end and now here you are, you want to see the picks? Well, okay, so we got UCLA plus 13, over 45, Kentucky plus 10, over 59.5, over 50, and Mizzou at plus 7. So we got everything all locked in, and there we go. And our super dogs are looking good. My super dog pick for this week is Kentucky again. If you notice, I took them on week 8, and I'm going to take them again for week 13. So that's who I have. And guys, I hope you guys are doing well. Every year, I donate my my proceeds. Part of Craps Nation. If you guys are with me, part of Craps Nation helped me with the money I needed back in 2020 when I lost my original craps table. So every year, starting last year, I donate all the winnings to like Toys for Tots or a local charity for Christmas. And this year it won't be a lot, but I'm going to add in a little bit more. And so next week I'm going to have a little bit more discussion. It's not going to be what it was last year, but this year I'm going to try to give at least a little something for the local families here as a donation, because that's what I like to do with my proceeds when I do win at the college football at the end of the year. I take all my money I won and then I donate it to a good Christmas family or a couple Christmas families. And unfortunately this year it hasn't worked out that way, but I will write something. So that's where I'm going to leave it, and we're going to talk more about that next week. And No Sevens is going to catch you on the flip side.